Most of the courses that we offer form the scientific foundation for many of the students. To have a good understanding of the world around you, you need to be able to understand it at some level from a chemical perspective. Whether that's studying physics, whether it's studying biology, whether it's studying human physiology.
Our microbiology that we teach at American River is primarily for students going into allied health fields. So pre-nursing students, dental hygiene fields, respiratory care. So they need some chemistry, they need microbiology, they need anatomy and physiology.
We get a lot of engineers coming through the department. We get a lot of pre-professional students, the ones who want to go into vet school or pharmacy school or med school. So we get a broad range of majors coming through here.
Like most people, I'm trying to get into a nursing program, and this is one of 3 classes that I'm taking this semester that I need to apply.
We provide single organ dissections that the students can do so that they get that three-dimensional view rather than just a figure, and even more lifelike than a model.
We dissected the sheep heart today, and in there we learned all the different structures in the heart, and it's how it's very similar to the human heart.
Oh, look.
Microbiology requires quite a bit of preparatory work, and so we have a lot of different bacterial cultures, and we do testing on those different bacteria during the semester. For example, what enzymes do they have? Can they do fermentation, or are they strictly aerobic organisms?
We're just checking different bacteria to see what enzymes are present. That's what we're doing in lab today. Now we're talking about DNA replication and RNA and protein synthesis. And you get to learn different techniques on how to be sterile, and I just really think it's a really neat class to learn all those things.
We have classes in sustainability and conservation. And so that thread takes students through courses like environmental restoration, where they actually learn current practices in restoration and also the theory behind restoration ecology. We have a water resources class. And then we have courses that are more focused towards wildlife and fisheries. And then we have several courses that are really focused towards botanical sciences. So students take the forest environment, or a native California trees and shrubs class, or California wildflowers.
We have the biggest GIS program in the country. We have 13 specific GIS courses and some courses that focus on special technological aspects of the field, such as web-based mapping and intensive database applications.
The biggest concept is learning the difference between just a flat map on a piece of paper and being able to look at that same geographic area and learn infinite things about it by pulling in data from different sources.
Our department encompasses physics, engineering, astronomy, and physical science. So in the physics, you get mechanics, you get electricity and magnetism, you get optics, you get quantum physics. In the engineering department, you get all the core engineering courses that they will need when they transfer to their four-year schools.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6. As a mechanical engineering major / aerospace, what I really loved about physics was the chance to work with rockets, because I had never done before. I'm currently active in Astronomy and Physics Club.
We have 3 very vibrant science clubs. There's the Research Club, the Engineering Club, and the Physics and Astronomy Club. The Research Club has been working with 3D printers for a while now. The Engineering Club has entered into many competitions. They actually built a 3D printer. The Physics and Astronomy Club, they launched a balloon into near space about 22 miles up. And they took some images, some video images of the Earth from that altitude.
So far I've learned about motion of objects, different vectors, and he has like a different projectile motion experiment for like every lecture. I'm a visual learner, so it's the basic concepts of calculating vectors and angles and, projectiles. It helps me pick up the material quicker to see it happen too.
We learn a lot of theory in class, and then we take that theory and we sort of test it here. I really like labs. I think labs are very unique. You get to actually do hands-on techniques that you're going to carry on. So I think that that's super important.
We want them to understand the theory as well as the practical applications. And the theory is important because if they don't understand how an instrument's supposed to work, what the data is supposed to look like, they could in essence get garbage out without understanding the background behind it.
They get a lot of time on the instruments, they get to run their own samples, acquire their own data. A lot of universities, when they're doing data analysis, they just give them copies of spectra. They never touch an instrument, they never get experience making up their samples. And here at AR, we think that that's a really valuable piece of chemical education.
You know, there's a lot to the labs. You get to use a lot of instrumentation, which is really good experience.
I thought that was pretty neat that they actually teach you everything, that's how real chemists actually do things.
The organic series is hands-on. You won't find that accessibility to instruments, especially some of the instruments like our NMR and our GC. They just don't have access to those instruments at four-year institutions, not like what we have available for students here.
On the campus, we do have this nature area out here, and we do a lot of on-campus labs. But really, especially with the classes I teach, we're really out exploring all over the state, sometimes even out of the state.
Jen's field trips are fantastic. We end up in different environments. We've gone to Mount Diablo, and we've basically observed areas in Mount Diablo and the different ecology and dynamics there.
And the FID when it starts to collect. So we need to turn that way down.
There's a lot of good opportunities to learn from your teachers directly since there are smaller classroom sizes.
My teacher, Professor Miller, is very hands-on. As soon as you have a question about anything, she'll come and help you with it. If you have trouble finding a certain bacteria, because some of them are really small, or the microscope's not working properly, she'll come around and she'll identify the bacteria for you and help you gear you towards where you need to go so that you can identify it yourself.
For somebody like me that hasn't been in a physics class for 12 years, I mean, he's definitely grabbed me by the hand and shown me what's going on. So it's fun not to feel like you're behind in a class.
I sometimes have students that are struggling and they share with me that they're not sure if they're really going to make it, and I really try to encourage them, and it's so rewarding when they're successful.
You know, there are a lot of people that know information, but being able to teach it is a different skill, and there's a certain amount of people skill involved in being able to communicate, talk, and understand, and not forget what it's like to be a student.
This is my last semester before I transferred to university. At first it was scary, you know, all these new topics and new language that you don't know. Because professors, if it wasn't for them and their hard work educating me every day, you know, I would drop out because, you know, sometimes the material gets too tough, but because they're great professors and really approachable on the topics, I'm able to, you know, ask them questions in class. But you have to study, and you get the hang of it eventually.
My goal after I graduate with my bachelor's degree is to go on to graduate school. I want to study medicinal chemistry. I feel very prepared. I feel like the standards that this school sets are very high. And from what I hear, a lot of the students from this school, when they go on to transfer to a UC, end up doing really well.
We all are very, very moved to provide the best opportunity for students to learn, because we're trying to get our students ready for what they're going to be exposed to out there.
Our goal is to provide a good foundation so that when they get accepted into their programs, that they have that background. I often tell my students, this is the why of what you're going to learn to do.
I really love my job because I get to interact with students on a daily basis. I get to expose them to new concepts and new ideas and ultimately help them achieve the goals that they set for themselves.
For me, that's one of the things that I appreciate the most about this job, is seeing how a student develops from when they come here to when they're ready to leave and transfer on to their four-year school.